Hello and welcome to this short session introducing Maynooth University Library to staff who are new to Maynooth University. My name is Helen Farrell and I'm going to be taking you through some of the quick tips, tricks and services that are available to you to get started in the library. So what are we going to cover today? We're going to look at ways of making the library work for you, cover the basics of finding databases and e-journals in your subject. We'll also cover some of the searching tips and tricks that work for most databases and electronic journals and online content. I'll also point you in the direction of support for more advanced search strategies, briefly touch on how to link to content for Moodle and sharing information with your classes. Also, I'm going to just briefly look at some of the options that might assist you during COVID-19 and give you some information about where to follow up with us if you need more information. Now, just to say to you, I'm going to be using a lot of links as I'm going through this presentation. However, all of those links are available from this bit.ly URL on screen now, if you wish to take note of it. Reason being is there can be sections and subsections and subpages within the library homepage, and it can be difficult to remember after the presentation what section each link was in. So my presentation, which you can download, contains the direct links straight into the things that I mention here that will be of use to you. So let's have a look at some of these things that are going to get you started with us. The first thing that you need to do after you get your My Card is to register for borrowing with us. So you will have your My Card, but you need to then register separately. It really matters because if you don't, should you order any books through your library rep or direct from us, you won't receive any alerts. I'm going to show you using Library Chat on the homepage for troubleshooting. It's a very, very handy feature on our library website. I'm also going to take you through logging in to off-campus use and why it affects search results on the library homepage. I'm going to briefly show you how to use your library account and see about reserving, overdues and renewals. I'm going to show you my user guide just for staff and MU, and we're going to briefly look at the floor plans and shelving online that you can have a look before you even come into the library, so you'll be able to locate any books that you're interested in. So taking you through some of those things that I have mentioned, let's have a look at the library homepage. So how do you register to borrow and to get alerts from us? So what you do is go to Using the Library, Academic Staff Services on the left hand side, and you'll see Admission to the Library under that heading. Click here to apply. So I'm going to open that link and you'll see the staff registration form. It's just as simple as fill out all your details here, and it'll take 3 to 5 working days for us to get you up and running on the system. The next thing I mentioned was using the library chat box. So we're just going to go straight back to the library homepage again. And the library chat box is open during library service hours when there are staff. So on the library homepage, we're going to scroll down, and you can see at the moment we are online. So there's somebody there available to answer your anonymous queries, or you can add your name. Either way, it's fine. You could even use this when you're in the library, and if you run into problems accessing electronic resources, can't locate something, or need our help in any other way, you just type your message and we will get back to you immediately. So looking at the next thing in the presentation, I mentioned to you about logging into off-campus. So why is this important? Very important because if the system doesn't realise that you're logged in, you get a very different set of search results if you run a search on the library catalogue. We'll scroll past Library Chat down a little bit and you'll see my cursor is now hovering over off-campus access. Click it open and you'll see my username has already been pre-filled, done it a few times already. So we're just going to log in. This is what you should expect to see once your account is up and running with us. So you can see now I've logged into off-campus access. And from this point, you can choose library search, A to Z of databases, or journal search. Let's take a look now at what your library account will look like. So let's start again at the library homepage. And I'm going to scroll down. Keep an eye on the left-hand side, so we pass the chat box. past the off-campus access login, and past quick links. So on the left hand side you'll see library account. My cursor is now on it. I'm going to click it open. Obviously it's pre-filled with my own user details. I'm just going to log in there, and once your account is up and running with us, you will see something like this on screen. So you can see at the moment I've got a few books on loan and I have the option to renew all. I'm just hovering over that. Requests is if anybody else has requested one of the books that you have on loan, in which case you have to return them, and any messages from the library or any fines and fees, and thankfully I am fine free at the moment. Taking a look at some of the guides that we have on different subjects, you might notice that one is called For Staff. So I'm going to click open the guides and tutorials box, and we'll go to all guides. And you can see in fact all of the academic departments have a page here presenting the top journals in their subject, suggestions for ebooks, information on referencing, and while these are all aimed at students, it can be very good information for people starting out as well, just to see the scope of what the library has on their subject. But on the left hand side you'll see For Staff, and that's what I want to show you. I developed the Are You New to MU page, which I'm just highlighting here, and this was based on questions that I got from people who were starting out in Maynooth. So if one of your questions is not answered in the contents here, please feel free to contact me. It's what I'm here for, and my email is helen.farrell@mu.ie. I also mentioned that we were going to have a quick look at the floor plans. Now, one of the very handy features within Library Search is it has a thing called a map it function for print books. So a lot of the books are actually, you basically can open the little map it feature and you can see exactly where they're shelved within the library using a pin. So it has a dropped pin, a bit like Google Maps, and then you just go to the exact location to pick your book up. However, if you just want to see the overall layout of the library, we can find that as well. So I am going to just open using the library here, open Academic Staff Services here, and you will see we had already covered the registering with the library, which is open there, but we are going to go to library layout now. And some of the options here are floor plans, and it gives you a good overview of the different subject headings and categories that are available within the library and which level they're on. One part of my role is to give guided tours to staff and faculty who are new to Maynooth. So I'd be more than happy to give you a guided tour of the library depending on the situation with COVID-19. As it stands at the moment, a lot of us are working off campus, but basically if I'm in a position to be able to give you a guided tour, I will. If not, I can meet you on Teams and talk you through any of the information that you need to get started using the library. So some of the ways that we can make using the library easier for you at present are using the Map It feature, which shows you the exact location of print material, but you can also use the very popular Click and Collect service, which is you send us in the details of the print book that you'd like to borrow. It's an easy online form, and basically it goes to us. The team can pick up a book, bag it up for you, and send you an email telling you that it's available for you to collect, and then you have 3 days to pick up the item from the library foyer. So that can be extremely handy for faculty, especially if you're under pressure for time or you don't want to go into the library and spend your time looking for a particular item. Another extremely popular service with faculty is our digital on-demand service, where we will actually scan versions and give you a digitized version of print material, and if no electronic version of this material exists, you are allowed to upload that digitized version to Moodle for your class. I'll also show you the interlibrary loan service for material that we don't have in the library. So I'm just going to run through now showing you the Map It feature, the Click and Collect service, the digital on-demand service. So we're again back at the library homepage, and I'm going to put in a simple search here. I'm going to put in Lucan and Sarsfield from my pre-filled search, and I'm going to run it. So again, this is searching all electronic journals, books, print books, ebooks, everything. And we've got over 1,500 results. So because it only because the map it function only works for print books, you can see that the first result there is a print book. It's available in the library and it's available on the shelf 941.506. So where is that? So click open map it and you'll see the pin. So this little pin icon indicates your item's location on the map. So you can see that it is on level 2. The green area is the stairs, the central stairs in the library. So if you went up the central stairs in the library, you could head over to this section 2.8b. So the aisle is labelled very clearly at the end, and you can see the little pin is here, so your item will be shelved at this location. Maybe you're under pressure for time, so you don't want to actually go over to the library and spend time locating it on the shelf. Then click and collect is for you. So I've opened the preview for this book and you can see the details are there. So I'm going to hold down my mouse button and copy this out, and I'll show you why in a second. It just makes filling in the click and collect form much easier. You can also do Control-C once you have your selection ready, and we'll go back to the library homepage. So scroll down on the library homepage and you will see on the right hand side we've got a click and collect icon, and it says items can be requested here. Now if you go down to the notes field, click once within it and the Control-V, it will paste those copied details of that book straight into the notes field. The reason I do this is it's much easier than actually going backwards and forwards writing the author, title and the shelf number. You can just copy it straight out from here. So for example, if you highlight what you want, press Control-C and then click into this and press Control-V, it's much easier than having to go backwards and forwards. We're going to use the same method to show you digital on demand. So say for example you want a digitized version of one of those chapters within the print book that we found on Lucan and Sarsfield. You can see the digital on demand request is right under the click and collect service as well. The form is really very similar. We're going to open it up and it also has a notes field, so again I can just put all the details straight in there and then populate the rest of the form quite easily. And obviously you get emailed once your digitized version is ready. It goes straight to you, you don't have to leave your office, and then you can upload it to Moodle or you can share it with your class depending on what suits you. And then finally we were going to look at interlibrary loan material where you might get that link. So again, library homepage, we're going to scroll down the homepage. Keep an eye on the left hand side of the screen, so there's our library chat, the off-campus access that we covered before. We're going to go past your library account, keep going all the way down to citation linker or interlibrary loans, and we're going to open the form. Again, it's quite a familiar form, very simple. So you just fill in the citation information that you have here or the book information you have, goes straight to us and we'll email you and let you know when your item is ready for collection or delivery. So when I was showing you the guide for staff, I did mention that all departments have their own subject guide online from us. They are mainly aimed at students, but to be honest, it's actually a really good place for you to start if you're completely new to Maynooth, because they'll show you some of the top books on your subject, what are the most popular databases, what are the top 5 e-journals on your topic, and what the referencing style is in operation in your department. So we're going to take a quick look at that now. So trying to find the subject guides, we're on the library homepage and we scroll down a little bit to the guides and tutorials box. We've been here before and we click open the all guides. So let's have a look. Say we're going to pick one for, let's pick education. So you can see there's tabs covering the books and the ebooks, the journals and databases. I'm going to click open journals and databases. And you can see that there's top recommended journals for education and databases here. There's also featured databases, and it also a link straight into library search as well. So you can search the library catalogue from this point. We know some academics much prefer to use Google Scholar to find their content. And that's fine, but I suppose we just have to let you know that there is a slight difference in the range of coverage that you're going to receive compared with what you would search for in using the library search, using the library catalogue. So you would get access to far more full text using Library Search than you would using Google Scholar. But Google Scholar does pick up full text access as well, just not all of it. Okay, so I've got Google Scholar open here. I'm going to click open the burger sign here on the left, and we're going to click open Advanced Search, and I'm just going to give you an idea of what it's going to look like. So if we look for case law and commercial, oops, bit of a typo there, okay, and I'm going to click on 2021 onwards, so very recent, and let's see what it's got. So we'll sort it by date, and it's including citations as well. So on the right hand side of the screen you can see that it's picking up access to some PDFs and full text, but not all. I do often get asked by departments, can they purchase access to particular electronic journals? And when I look into it, it's often the case that they already have access to it, but it's just an indicator that their staff are using Google Scholar. So again, if this is your preferred method of looking stuff up, double check in the library catalogue to see your true full text access. I'm going to start by showing you the A to Z of databases, and again we're back on the library homepage. Scroll down, keep looking left, and you'll see under quick links we've got the A to Z of databases. So I'm going to open it up here. So obviously you've got your alphabet there, and you can choose by that, but you can also choose by the subjects. So you can see I'm hovering over all subjects at the moment, and let's pick computer science. So there's 32 databases that would include content suitable for computer science. Let me open that up. And the first one there is the ACM Digital Library. So let's just have a quick look and see. Search, and we are going to run a simple search for one keyword, exergaming. And let's see what it has on the topic. So I've got 752 results. And for the purpose of this demo, let's pick the first one. And you can see it's a research article and a publication date. And I want to draw your attention to this link here. The link text mentions DOI, which is a digital object identifier. And you may have seen DOI or DOI links mentioned in other databases or electronic journals that you've used. And that is a stable link, a permanent link, very handy. And the fact that this has JProxy information from Maynooth NUIM means that if you share this link with your class, it is stable and permanent, it can be trusted, but it also prompts the user to log in if they're off campus and then brings them straight through to the full text, which is really handy. However, maybe you use reference management software and you want to bring the reference or the citation of this straight in there. So I'm just going to show you how to do that simply now. So we're going to export the citation, and I'm going to show you the EndNote version of this. So you click the download link here, and you can see it's downloaded a simple EndNote file with the citation, which you can then bring into EndNote 20. If you need some help with this, and if you want some training on using reference management software in Maynooth, my colleague Kieran Quinn is available to take you through those different options that he has available, and he has actually loads of excellent information online on his subject guides on research as well. Okay, so let's move on to searching, and we're going to look at some tips that work usually across the board for most databases and e-journals. And I would always say to you, again, make sure that you're logged in off campus if you're using any of these products. Otherwise you won't get access to the full scope of material that you really do have access to. I'd always, no matter what the product is and no matter what the database is, try and just go straight to the advanced search page, because the general search can be just so general, especially in the larger databases, and you get an unwieldy amount of search results that it can make it much more difficult for you to find highly relevant material. If phrase searching is supported by the database or electronic journal, always use it. So for example, what I have on screen there is electronic engineering within quotes. That means the database won't go off and find any document that mentions engineering as a phrase, or as a term, and it won't pick up electronic anywhere. So it basically, putting it within quotes, will force the database or eJournal to only find material that uses that as a phrase. Okay, so that is, even if you do nothing else, using phrase searching will it massively increase the relevance of what you're looking for. And always use the filters that are available to you. Now, typically these can be date filters. Sometimes they're pre-filled. You can do last 5 years, or you can pick 2001 onwards, or you could pick, the last year, etc. There's different options like peer review. You can choose material by subject topics, all these different types of things. If you combine searches, you can get really highly accurate results, and that's something you'd probably be doing in literature searching or systematic reviews. And if you found that one of your search sets has yielded very highly relevant material, then you should set up an alert. So let's just have a quick look and see these things in action. So we're back at the library homepage. And I'm going to remind you again, we're starting off this session with off-campus access. Make sure that you're logged in. And you can see I've now logged in, and we're going to pick a database. I think we'll pick ERIC this time. ERIC is an education database, but it has broad social science appeal as well. So I'm scrolling down the A to Z, and here's ERIC. So we're just going to pop him open. And for the purposes of the demo, I'm just going to enter German as a search term here. And again, it's a fairly familiar ProQuest interface. So a lot of the products provided by ProQuest have this standardized basic search, advanced search feature. And you can check peer reviewed. So you can see there's ways of limiting the search to just peer review, which is excellent. So let's do that. You can even do that after you've run your search. So you can do that now. And you can use date sliders. These are very handy. So we don't want material from the 1940s. Let's just limit it to, let's say, the last 20 years. 2010 to 2020. So that's going to cut our results down a little bit. It's cut it down quite a bit. And I'm going to just say only in scholarly journals. And you can see that's applying now. It takes a while sometimes for it to apply. It hasn't cut it down a huge amount, so maybe we should change our date range. So I'm going to drag 2010 over, and I'm going to force it to say like the last 2 or 3 years. So 2019, and update it again, and we should see a drop. Yeah, we do. So we're down to 972 results at this point. So let's see if there's any other filters here that we can limit our results to, because it's still quite a lot. So let's have a look at the document types. We only want articles. That hasn't helped at all. So let's see, is there anything else? Maybe we just want English language. But you can see actually before I even touch that filter, it's not going to bring it down very much. So maybe educational level would be something that will be really relevant. So maybe German in higher ed. So we're going to click that one, and we brought it down to 294. So that is something that you can work with. It's not a massive amount of articles, so we can scroll through and see what we like. So maybe if I click a few of these and create a short list, and they will get added to my folder. So you can see that I've now chosen 4 articles, and they're all in my folder. So let's pretend that we have now finished searching for what we need, and we want to take these references and bring them into a reading list or share them with a colleague. So you can see they're pre-selected within ERIC. So we've got those 4 articles and references all ready. So we can save it to my research, or you can cite these. So let's cite them. And this drop down option here lets you choose your citation style. So I'm going to say Harvard, please. And you can copy it out, or you can download it. So you can see here the RIS file format would suit EndNote, for example, or you can bring it into RefWorks. So there's lots of different options here. So I'm going to say RIS file, please. And I just tell it I'm not a robot, continue. And it will download those references for me, and I can add them to my research or my reading list. And you should be able to see on the left hand side of my screen there that the RIS file has downloaded. But let's run that search again, but using the advanced search page. And I think it will show you quickly how it operates differently and how it's much more relevant. So let's open the advanced search page, and I'm going to say German as a phrase. And you can see here the field has a drop down arrow, and you can say it defaults to anywhere in the article, but you can specify you want it in the document title. So that's making it highly relevant. And I'm going to limit it to peer reviewed before I even run the search. And I'm also going to include the phrase higher education. And you'll notice that I'm enclosing it within quotes. And I also want that within the title. So this is a very, very specific search. Now, as I scroll down, you can see we've got a drop-down option for all dates. We don't want it. So there's some pre-filled options there. Let's say the last 3 years. And I think we're going to run the search now, and let's see how many it should turn up. So it's going to, I would say, turn up a lot less than the hundreds we got before. Yes. So this really shows you like an advanced search can save you a lot of time. It can drill straight into what you need at the level you need it, and it's much more relevant. The other thing that I want to point out to you is that oftentimes within databases or even electronic journals, there's the option to save this search or set up an alert. So have a look at my icon, or sorry, have a look at the cursor on screen, and you can see it says save search or set up alert, and we're going to create an alert. So I'm going to call it German HE, higher ed, and you can see it's actually summarized what I've searched for and the limits and the different operators. And I'm going to send it to myself in work, and it's got a summary of the different search operators that are working, and basically I can now force it to only send me newly published documents from now on, and I can schedule how often I want that alert received. So say, for example, if you're running a bit of research or you're doing a review, a systematic review, and you really want to know on a daily basis anything new that comes out on your subject, you can do this, and it can run for a particular time. So you can just set it up exactly the way it suits you. And now I'll get automatic emails that will update me anytime new content is added to this database on my topic. If you want to go beyond this and you need support in terms of running more advanced searches, I'm running a dedicated session for faculty about honing your search skills in February 22, and I'm going to provide you with a booking link. So if you download this presentation, you can go straight to that and register a seat. And my colleague Kieran Quinn, who's the Research Support Librarian, he has developed an online guide for advanced searching techniques, as well as guides for all the major databases as well. And it has really excellent searching guidance for you as well. So I'll show you that in a second. And as I said, Kieran does provide individualised support for faculty. He can meet you one-to-one, he can meet you online or via Teams, and he can go through your search strategies and help you upskill in terms of your research skills. Kieran also often runs lunchtime clinics, so make sure you check the library homepage regularly to make sure that you're up to date on anything that might be something you'd want to attend. So let's have a look and see some of the research support that's available. So we're back at the library homepage, and we're going to open research support. And here's Kieran on the right hand side, and you can see just he's got 15 guides covering a range of research topics, which is excellent. And I think you probably find this very, very useful. So it's just, again, it's within the presentation that the link the link direct to this content is within the presentation. So there's no need for you to make a note of the URL or anything like that. So we've covered some of linking to material, to full text material, links that are suitable for Moodle. So again, just a reminder, you're using a stable link or a permalink, often called a DOI. You should be advising your students to log in to off-campus access. And we also have a range of classes that you can book with us. So again, I've provided links. So these cover successful searching, advanced searching, databases in your subject, referencing and avoiding plagiarism, and also the introduction to special collections and archives. So I think just to recap, make sure you have registered your MyCard with us so that you can borrow and receive alerts should you order material from the library. Use our click and collect service that will speed up retrieving books from the shelf. Use the digital on demand service if you need print material digitised. If you're having any issues using our library resources or service, you can chat to us on the library chat box, either in a named way or an anonymous way on or off campus. If you want to arrange a library class for your students or for your module, you can book these online, or you can get in contact with us. We can discuss them with you. If you want a physical tour of the library and it's permitted under COVID regulations, you can ask me, and that's my email on screen. And I would also encourage you to meet with the research support librarian via Teams or in person if that is something that you'd be interested in doing. And that brings us to the end of this session, and I hope that you have got some nuggets that will get you started using the library and will be of use to you and make it easier. And hopefully see you soon. Thank you very much.